Morning, guys. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm on my way to church because yesterday I went to the church where I was baptized, St. Raphael's in Burlington, and the priests weren't there. The fathers weren't there, and I just spoke to the secretary a little bit, and I spoke to God a little bit. I sat down, I said a couple prayers. The church was empty, but I went in because I actually wanted to see the 14 Stations of the Cross. I'd forgotten almost about the 14 Stations of the Cross. That's Catholicism, Roman Catholicism. That's how I was raised. And I had forgotten about that part of it. And so, it's one of those points in my life where I'm doing that messy hair, don't care. My beard's a little out of control. But I don't care about what my beard looks like or what I look like. I care about how I sound. I care about whether or not there's depth in the kinds of things that I'm trying to communicate with you. So I went to church, and I said to the lady, she says, "Oh, we do Mass every day at 9. I said, "You do? Oh, maybe I'll try to come tomorrow." And I'm a little bit late. It's actually 9:01 right now. But I said to my wife, she's like, I was rushing. I walked the kids to school. My wife has to go to work, and she says to me, "They go at 9 o'clock. You got to go." And I was like, "It's church, babe. I'm pretty sure they're forgiving." Get it? Forgiving life. And there was a guy I was watching. This morning. His name is Alex Karp. He's the CEO of Palantir. And as many of you may or may not know, Palantir is the kind of like brains behind what's been happening in Greater Israel. And that Greater Israel is actually the whole world. A lot of people don't know that. Because we're all descendants of the same God. Even though we think about it differently. And Alex Karp thinks about it differently. And what's so funny about what he was saying was, first he says, "Well, I'm dyslexic." And I didn't know I was dyslexic. And he might be dyslexic, but he's hyper intellectual. I mean, this guy is crazy smart. And so he's been coming out and saying a lot. He's been kind of like coming out a little bit because he's on a book tour. He's written a book. And so he's kind of promoting it. And so he's speaking to Barry Weiss. And Barry Weiss, as many of you may know, kind of like realized there was something going wrong with the progressives and the left. And so she kind of like switched sides from the very progressive woke camp to kind of thinking more critically again. And then on October 7th, she flipped again because she's Jewish. She was brought up Jewish. Keep in mind, I'm just talking ideas. I'm not saying anything about any individuals whatsoever. I did name Alex Karp, but I'm not saying anything about him other than to say Jesus Christ is forgiving. And that's how we know he was who he said he was. And the people that rejected him, his own people that rejected him, you're making me later. His own people that rejected him, wow. I'm glad I'm not going that way. They're moving a giant, there's a crane here, they're building a high rise, and they're moving a giant metal structure frame up onto what appears to be like the 10th floor or something like that. And I do not want to go under that, which is why there's stopped traffic right there. Anyway, you ever felt like there was like a guardian angel on your shoulder? I have it many times in my life, and it kind of freaks me out, actually. It's those things that happen and you just go, "Whoa, did that just happen?" And sometimes they did, and sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it's a figment of your imagination. Figure. And sometimes it isn't. Sometimes there's actually something supernatural there. But Karp and Palantir, they're building a giant artificial intelligence to take out all the redundancies, to take out all the things, all the places where something might go wrong, so that we can all be safe from threats. And as Barry Weiss calls it in the clip, I think it's in the clip that I put it there, to be safe from terrorists. See, there's a deep psychological attachment to Israel for all Jewish people, and it doesn't matter what their orientation is. And the same is true for their brother nation, which is Islam, and their father nation, which they reject, in my humble opinion, which is Jesus Christ and Christianity. And so the son came to basically overturn the way that the father had behaved towards his children. That's the story of the Bible. And Alex Karp and all Jewish people, by definition, in fact, so this is the claim I'm basically going to make. I'll finish it with this, and you think about it. Everyone, if there is such a thing as a God, everyone that fights about who he might be is by definition wrong if you don't choose the right God. That's the nature of relativism. That's the nature of relativist thinking in circles and loops and infinity loops. A lot of other religions, like Eastern religions, they even say that. Like, life is just an infinity loop. There's reincarnation and this and that. But by definition, if you reject the God that says that if you reject me, these things will happen, and so what I'm arguing is that by definition, everyone who rejects the one true God is by definition a materialist. And so every way that they think about things has to be from within the materialist world view. Because God was not of this place. He was supernatural. Which means that he met the metaphysical and the material. And my kids, I just dropped them off, and I feel, sometimes I double think I overthink everything. But sometimes I say to was it wrong that we didn't baptize our kids? And I don't think the answer is yes. Even though you should baptize your kids in what you believe. And Alex Karp believes in reason and sense-making and intelligence. He believes intelligence is enough, which is why he lacks wisdom. And he said something really interesting, and I posted the clip on my Facebook. He said that he went to the Frankfurt School, which is actually at its heart neo-Kantian, meaning it's not Marxist, it's neo-Kantian and neo-American, which means he thinks that it's based on the principles of the Enlightenment and reason, which he would believe because he's Jewish, and the Jewish people by definition rejected the one true God, which is the one thing that they feel like they can never make up for. And so they overachieve everything, they overthink everything, and they overproduce, and they what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. They outperform everyone else. That's factually true. Because they're always questioning, they're always debating, they're always thinking. And they think that the intellect is enough, but it lacks the wisdom of the one true God that told us that humanity's true relationship with the divine is in forgiving. And so I'm here. I'm going to go in and ask to be forgiven. Okay, that's it. God bless you guys. Have a great day.